And we're back now with the 34th governor of California, who also happens to be the 39th governor of California, Jerry Brown, who in between time was also the California Attorney General and the mayor of Oakland. He also ran for president a couple of times in there, and someone I first interviewed back in 1979. Governor, pleasure to see you.
Welcome. Pleasure.
I want to ask you something. How much has politics changed since you were first governor?
A hell of a lot. It's more polarized. The money is more centrally collected and distributed by the two major parties. There's, particularly on the Republican side, there's an enforcement of discipline that's ideological and, as was mentioned today in the Washington Post, takes on the quality of a cult. So we're in a much more adversarial environment. We've always had it historically, but now it's ramped up several degrees, as evidenced by the filibuster and holds on nominations, and a great power can't govern itself with this kind of dysfunction. It just won't work.
So do you see a way out of it?
We need some kind of decisive election, some kind of breakdown leading to a breakthrough, and that's not quite evident on the horizon yet.
How do you, we just heard Haley Barbour and the LA mayor, how do you see this presidential race shaping up?
I see it as a close election. I see it as unpredictable. If you ask me, there's no doubt I believe Obama should win, but between now and November, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. These big secret super PACs are going to just load the money in, and it's going to be nasty. But I have to say this, I've never seen a cooler, more reasoned, intelligent candidate and leader than Obama. This man, under pressure, shows a lot of grace and a lot of thoughtfulness, and that's going to serve him well, because I've been in these races, and under pressure, somebody can blow or make a mistake or say something stupid, and that often is the race. So I'd say Obama has the strength to make it all the way, and I sure hope he does.
Will you be out campaigning for him?
Yeah, I will. Although, in this world of national media, it's all on the president. And on Romney's side, it's all mostly him, and then the money in these PACs that run around and put the poison into the bloodstream of the body politic. But those two candidates, how they react and how they set forth their vision for America, that's going to make the difference.
Well, now we should add that the Democrats have their own set of those PACs, too. This
is
not just something that Republicans are doing. You heard Haley Barbour and Mayor Villaraigosa talking about Marco Rubio. Do you see that helping? Would that help Mitt Romney in California, for example, which right now I would guess is looking pretty good for Barack Obama?
I don't think Romney can win California. I don't think it would hurt. I think it would show a little diversity on the part of a party that is pretty monolithic. But the fact is, the Republicans just recently, wasn't that true a few years ago, but they're so hostile to millions and millions of people that are in this country. And while they can't vote, they have millions and millions of people who they're related to or who identify with them. And you just can't ignore 12 million people, particularly when they're picking our food, they're working in the hotels and the restaurants, and now they're increasingly in very important jobs. So I think the Republicans have to move out of that reactionary cul-de-sac that some of their more extreme members are pushing them.
What do you think? We kind of know who the key demographic groups are going to be. It is going to be Hispanics, 11% of the population. It is going to be women, who are more than half the electorate now. We know that it is going to be independents. Barack Obama won a lot of them the last time out. He doesn't seem to be doing as well with independent voters. Now, what do you think the election will turn on? Will it be, in the end, the economy?
I think it turns on if one of the candidates screws up first and makes a mistake. That's always how elections tend to move, on the other person making the mistake. Secondly, I think it comes down to who do the American people have the most confidence in? And generally, an incumbent has an advantage, not a big advantage, but in these close elections, I think the fact that he's in power gives him an advantage, and then Romney's going to try to use the fact that there's a lot of discontent. People aren't very happy at the way things are going, and it's obvious because we're recovering very slowly. Not because of Mr. Obama. It's fact is the mortgage meltdown was a financial recession, and the historic data shows they take much longer to recover from. And that breakdown was due in large part because of the lack of regulation, not too much government, but too little on Wall Street.
You know, you've been around for a while.
Almost as long as you.
But that's exactly right. I may have you by a year or so. But I am just wondering, as you look back over your career, and your career is still very much in progress, what advice do you have for politicians? What do you think you've learned in these years you spent in public life?
Well, I've learned you don't get things done overnight. It does take time. The things that I was talking about 30 years ago, pension reform, renewable energy, completing the California water plan, high-speed rail, they're right at the top of the agenda today. So what do I say? Hey, you got to take 30 years to get it done because you can't get it done overnight. You can't get it in a term. But we're into instant gratification. Get it done. If you don't do it in 2 years, you're a failure. Life doesn't work that way, at least from the point of view of somebody in their 74th year. It looks like things take longer, and now I'm kind of glad they do because I still have something to do.
What was the hardest, being mayor of Oakland or being governor of California?
Governor is more difficult. It's more removed. It's more abstract. You're dealing with bills. As mayor, you're dealing with cops and criminals and development. I like to say condos, cops, criminals. You want to make the streets safer, and you want to get people to live and make the city bloom and prosper. So mayor's a hands-on thing. You're walking down the same streets, the same corners, the same high schools. You see them day after day. Governor, you're in the capital, but the capital really isn't anywhere. The state is so big that it's a very different experience than the hands-on, immediate encounter that a mayor has.
Go to run for re-election?
I'm thinking about it.
Are you?
I am thinking about it, but I've got enough right now to keep me busy for another couple of years.
All
but
right.
I wouldn't rule it out.
All right. Well, Governor, it's a pleasure to have you.